Hi everybody, it's Miranda with Multiplicity Crafts and welcome back. Today I'm taking part in the Trinity Stamps giveaway hop, and I'm also going to show you a shaker card tutorial today. So before we get started, I wanted to show you the goodies that I got from Trinity Stamps. I got a die, a floral cross stamp set, and some embellishments. And here is the stamp set. Now you can see that I did already use the stamp set as it's got some black ink on there. So I had to play ahead of time, and that's why it's inky. I also have these beautiful sequins that they sent, and the little blue embellishments are little tiny hearts. It's the Jelly Drop collection. So this is actually called the Berry Blue Mix. And what I did is went ahead and stamped my floral cross out on a piece of purple paper and then also on a piece of white paper. And on the one that's on the purple paper, I went ahead and cut that out. But Trinity Stamps does have a die that goes with this set, and that would have probably been easier. But I just cut out the cross shape, and I stamped on there Blessings for You, which is also a sentiment that comes with the stamp set. And so, as you can see here, it's going to make a very pretty shaker, and you could even leave that cross in black and white, but I'm going to watercolor it. For my acetate, I'm just using transparency film. This is a lot cheaper and you get a lot more for your money. And so I'm going to take a piece of that film and I'm going to cut that down to fit the size of my card. And you can see there, I'm trying to catch it in the light so you can see I actually am holding something and not just cutting in midair a piece of just ghost paper or something. And so I'm going to place that on my purple paper and use my Fiskars scissors to trim that to size. Now you'll notice these little scissors are ones you probably haven't seen in my videos before. I got these for Christmas from my husband Josh and I do love them. So I'm going to take the acetate, I'm just going to call it acetate even though it's a transparency film, and I'm going to glue that onto the purple piece of paper cardstock. And so I'm going to use the Tombow glue runner for that. And I also got this from Josh for Christmas. So I did very well. I got some cardstock and other things. I know it's a little late to be talking about Christmas, but I did have a few little supplies here I'm using and just wanted to show you that they are some new favorites of mine that I've been using. So I'm going to add this glue around all of the four edges of the card and then stick the acetate transparency film onto that and it will adhere down nicely. So once I have this down, I am ready to go to the fun part, and that is watercoloring this gorgeous floral cross. So you can see that this floral cross stamped off so beautifully, and these stamps are really high quality and I was very impressed. I'm just using some watercolors that I had on hand. I don't even know where I got these. They're just some cheap little watercolors I picked up somewhere, and so I'm going to use these. You don't have to have anything fancy to make this look amazing. You can even use just Crayola watercolors. They don't have to be anything expensive. And I'm going to take my Mr. water bottle and I'm going to spritz into some of the pastel colors that I'm going to be using. And that's kind of the lazy way to watercolor if you don't want to have a little separate cup of water and all that. This is just always the way I watercolor anyway, so it works. I just spritz the watercolor, and then also I use a little well up at the top of the watercolor container lid and spray water in there, and that gives me a little pool of water if I need to rinse my brush or add more water to my brush. This is a water brush that I'm using, and so when you squeeze it, water technically should come out, but mine is a little bit stiff and old, and it's just one I've had, and the water kind of doesn't come out real easy. And so I usually just dip it in water and it just makes it a lot easier for me to watercolor. So I'm going to begin with this Robin's Egg blue shade, and I thought that would be a really pretty shade for the background of this floral cross. And I did stamp this down in Lawn Fawn ink, which is watercolor friendly and it will not smear, so that's very important. And you can see that I'm just coloring around all of the flowers and leaves on this image and just getting my background color laid down. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not adding any shading really. I'm just laying down some color simply because this is just going to be a background for my shaker card, and the elements will really shine and be the focus. This is what it looks like when I finished watercoloring. Again, nothing too fancy, just some nice floral colors that go with my spring Easter theme. Now to turn this into a shaker, I'm going to add some Scotch foam tape, and I'm going to add that all around. So do you remember, I don't know if you have ever went bowling and have seen or had a little kid that was bowling and they have little bumpers in the gutter so they won't get a gutter, and they'll always be able to bowl the bowling ball down the alley and it'll hit the pins. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm adding some little bumpers around this cross so my little shaker elements won't escape. And so you get the idea there. I'm just laying that around, and then on the thinner part of the card I am cutting this foam tape in half, and that way it won't be too thick and hang over the edge and be visible. Obviously you don't want that, so I'm just making it a little bit thinner to add on the edges. And notice here when I'm placing this down, I'm making sure that all of the little bumpers, as I'm calling it, meet and are touching, and that way you don't get a runaway embellishment or sequin or whatever you're filling your shaker with. That way they all stay contained where they go and are visible when you adhere it to the other piece of paper that goes with your shaker. So I have it all finished, and before I add my shaker elements, I did want to show you on the Trinity Stamps website. Okay, get this. They have got the most amazing embellishments ever. Like, I've never seen a company that has such a variety of embellishments. I mean, they have little sprinkles, they have little poofy clouds, they have little scissors, stars, tiny little buttons, bows, even tiny little clouds with smiley faces, and just pure gorgeousness. So whatever you're looking for an embellishment, definitely check Trinity first. And some of their embellishments are even made out of clay. It is just amazing. These are just gorgeous, gorgeous embellishments. And so I'm going to add the ones which I have, which are the tiny little blue hearts. And then I'm going to add in the clear sequins to give it a little bit of variety and a little bit of different color and sparkle that goes with that. So I'm adding these in, and I'm looking and I'm like, why didn't I learn from the past few shaker cards I've made that I always need 2 layers of the foam tape? Why on earth do I try to get by with 1? Oh, I guess I'm just a frugal Franny or whatever they call it. I don't know. I made that up, I think. But I think that, yeah, I need to just go ahead and start with 2 layers, and it would be so much easier. So once I have the 2 layers on, I am going to put that onto the white watercolored floral cross there on the, well, it's not watercolored white, but you know what I mean. It's on the white sheet of paper. And so once I have that added on, I'm just going to press that into place. That way I can see what I'm doing and lining that up. And then the excess white paper that's peeking out of the edge, I'm going to take my handy dandy scissors and trim that away. And all I have left to do is just adhere it to a card base, and I'm essentially done. Now, if I had this to do over again, I would probably stamp the blessings for you in white or emboss it in white. Also, I might add a few little sequins on the outside for extra embellishment. But all in all, I was very pleased with the way that the card turned out, and I had so much fun watercoloring the card, even though most of that was done off camera. It's just a fun, relaxing thing. If you want to get this stamp set to just set and watercolor it, you can do it in any color theme that you choose, and it makes a beautiful shaker card. So before I let you go, I want to remind you that this is also a giveaway hop. So be sure to see my description box below for how to enter this giveaway. And also remember to hop to the next designer and comment on their video as well for bonus entries. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.